marry me?
It was like an out-of-body experience.
There's me. Cyclone. One more time.
Oh my God, are you kidding?
This is happening in real
I
life.
felt so happy. Tell me something I don't know,
It
Dad.
really surprises you.
Absolutely. Well, I can see you're welcome back. Do you want to get married in 6 months?
This is true love. I think this happens every day.
Welcome to Dear Future Bride. Today's guest is Taylor. She planned her wedding from interstate, poured her energy into personal touches and still had to surrender to the one thing you can't control, the weather. In this episode, we talk about planning from a distance, staying grounded under pressure, and the moments that hit harder than expected in the best way. Welcome, Taylor.
Thank you so much, Kiera.
So what was the first thing you locked in and why was that the non-negotiable?
Probably you. I think we always envisaged having a destination wedding, but obviously didn't know the ins and outs within the industry within that location. So my husband now and I, we went up and did a bit of a scout, got to meet with yourself as well and kind of get a vibe for the area. And yeah, as soon as we met you, we were like, we have to have her. Like that's a non-negotiable. Like she's going to really like assist us through this whole process, particularly like planning interstate as well. So yeah, and I think that was the best decision we made because we came up with a lot of challenges through the wedding process of like having a date, then COVID hit, so we had to plan again and then, yeah, going from there. So that was probably the non-negotiable. And then from there, it kind of was just like a bit of a roll-on effect. It was then the venues were really important to us. We wanted something that was quite central but then also spoke to both of us as well. So we ended up having 2 separate venues, which was a bit of a unique setup, but it really tied the whole day and it kind of made it exciting for the guests because we took them on a bit of a journey. They got picked up by these beautiful double-decker buses that took them on this surprise location and they didn't really know where they were going. And then, yeah, kind of created that story for them, which was really fun. I wish I got to go on the buses. They looked like a great time. But yeah, that was probably the next thing that we did. Yeah.
Did you have a idea of the venues when you were doing the scouting, or did you just turn up in Byron and start having a look around and getting a feel for the venues?
We did pre-book some locations. We had the surf club for our reception, which was really fun. But that really spoke to my husband because he's a really keen Rooster supporter with the NRL and it was painted in red, white and blue. And he was like, this is it. We're having it here. Like it was just a sign for him. And I think because he loved it, it was also like, it was quite close to the beach. We had that view of the ocean and everything. And then we also were at the Fig Tree restaurant, which was absolutely beautiful. And at the time when we saw that location, that was when they were rebuilding because the restaurant had burnt down. So we didn't there was nothing there besides some piers in the ground and this beautiful fig tree. And I just saw the trees like, that's a ceremony location. We've got it. And I'm pretty sure we made the decision before we left, but we got on a flight back home. So yeah, that was really exciting.
That's just definitely taking a gamble when the restaurant hadn't even been built as well. But it's just such a stunning location.
Yeah.
That you can't go wrong. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Because they were closely in location as well. We really liked that appeal as well. So you didn't have to then get on a bus for another hour somewhere else. Like it was really close, like 10-minute drive, I think. So that was really important to us that they weren't traveling all over the place. It was already there.
And besides the Roosters colouring, your styling was so on point. Was there like a clear vision from the start or did it evolve as it went?
There was a clear vision, but then you kind of get put down a bit of a rabbit warren when you go on Pinterest. And because I guess we had to plan our wedding twice because of COVID and having to change those dates, I went down a whole other avenue. And it wasn't until one of my really close girlfriends said, look, I think you need to pull it back, go back to your roots. Like, let's go back to the very beginning of your Pinterest board. And I think the play of the colours at the surf club, I didn't want to compete with that. So I just wanted to keep it really neutral. We wanted, I guess, that typical beach vibe of like the neutral suits and the whites. And then we just paired it with, our whole phrase was effortlessly elegant. It was what we were trying to achieve. So having really beautiful florals, neutral tones, hints of that Australiana kind of bush as well. So that was kind of our vibe.
Did Lewis get involved in much of the styling aspect?
Not really, no. He wasn't that wasn't a focus for him. He was more like, he was very focused on the celebrant. He wanted a really like vibey celebrant and to connect with them. And the food was really important to him. The alcohol, the DJ. So,
Pretty standard.
pretty standard. And so I could, he let me kind of take the reins on the styling aspect of it. And what we did was just a bit of a nod to his rooster passion. Was my good friend Eliza from Ivyland Collective did the florals, and we actually did a little on our table setting. We did little rooster colours on his plate, just as a
He gets a little part of the styling.
Yeah, and he was so excited. He was like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, so he loved that element of it. But yeah, it was good.
So you said obviously like there was a bit of a rabbit hole with styling and just getting carried away with certain trends that come in and different things, because when you start wedding planning, you may have an idea of styling, but then you can see like, oh, there's all these things that you can do and they did that and that looks really good. And maybe you start to second guess yourself. Did the pressure to get it all perfect ever creep in?
Absolutely. I think because we'd picked a destination wedding, and our family and friends were making that big effort to come up, there was that pressure for me to have, the best event that they could, like that they were coming to, like kind of get their money's worth, I guess, as well. I know that they're coming to celebrate us, but which was such an honor and we felt so grateful. But I just wanted to give back to them. Yeah, a really good time. I think it was such a strange time to plan a wedding because I had this whole concept and we were originally going to be getting married in October, but then COVID kind of hit and then we had to quickly make that decision to then extend it a little bit further. So then that extended amount of time just really impacted and kind of it challenged my, like what was true to me, like I guess. So I was getting caught up, and you've got Instagram and you're getting all these brides starting to post their pictures and oh, I wish I'd do that. I think at one point I had my wedding dress for nearly 2 years and I saw a dress and I was like, oh, I want that one now. Like I have to change. So it's funny how like you can get so heavily influenced by what people are posting and all the likes and the comments and then you kind of do this 180, like should I do this? And I think you were a great sounding board as well through the process. I think you kind of kept me sane through that lockdown period that we had, because I got to, discuss wedding things, which was just so fun, so much fun in such a strange time. But that was probably, the biggest one for us. So.
How close was your wedding to the original vision?
I would say better than I expected. I think when you particularly you got to trust the vendors that you booked. And I think what was great when we worked with you is that you knew who we were as a couple. So you aligned us really clearly with ones that you thought we would get along with and that would, fulfill that vision that we had. But then we didn't really know what they would deliver on the day as well, which was that kind of, you've got to really just lean into it. And it was unreal. And the feedback that we still get people talking about our wedding now. And I think that's just a testament to the vendors and how well they work together, particularly with what ended up happening on the day with the weather. So, and how we all had to kind of pivot again. So we had a vision of how it would be, but the gods and the weather just did not allow that to happen in some instances. But all in all, it probably made it even a better experience because it was that unexpected magic of it too. So, but I would say that our vision was planned it to as best as it could be, and then you kind of just got to render a little bit on the day.
With so much of the planning happening from interstate, what felt hardest to navigate from a distance?
Probably the uncertainty, I guess. I guess putting your trust in the vendors and taking they're the experts in the field. So, but then I guess that was my internal pressure on myself that, is it going to be how I hope it's going to be? And we'd been to weddings in the past and, guests always have comments. So that really played on my mind. Like I just want it to be perfect. So I think that was the hardest thing, but every vendor was unreal and on the day I was really able to take a deep breath because I just knew it was going to be fine. That was probably the biggest thing for me, was just that uncertainty of how it would eventually come together. Like you're just doing all these planning and you just hope it's going to come to fruition, I guess, the way that you can see it happening, and you hope it's received well as well. So yeah, that was probably my biggest one.
So there obviously was a lot of pressure that you put on yourself for the guest experience. When you had gone to weddings in the past and you heard these comments made about other people's weddings, like what sort of comments were they, and what were you trying to avoid specifically?
We wanted to make sure that everyone was really looked after. I think it was a great suggestion by yourself was like we had like as soon as the buses pulled up to the surprise venue, there was already drinks being served. And that was a big comment back from our guests that was a really nice touch, because guests kind of have to wait around a lot between, I guess, different sections of a wedding. But the big feedback we received was that it just flowed really easily, and they weren't having to, wait for a drink or wait to be served canapes, or they had hours between that they had to kind of fill in time for the couple and the bridal party got photos. Like it was very integrated. And I think being able to change to another location as well kind of kept that excitement going. And to be honest, everyone was in such a good mood the whole time. I think because we've been locked down in COVID for so long, they all brought the energy too. So they were so excited to be in that event, which kind of let myself and my husband kind of take a deep breath a bit more and relax into it too. And a lot of people, because when we planned it the second, they were like, we're going to extend our holiday. We're coming up for a week, or, so they really made a holiday out of it, which made it nice that we could see everyone at different times throughout the week rather than just being all in the one day. And that then gave myself and Lou a lot of time to actually hang out on our wedding day, which was really, really nice. And that's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You as a couple being able to have that time.
That pressure on the day, did that ever creep in of you being worried about how your guests are going or what they're thinking or anything?
No.
Or were you able to fully surrender?
I was able to fully surrender. And I think, Kiera, that happened when I woke up at 5 a.m. and it was bucketing down rain. And I just was like, okay, it's going to be fine. My beautiful maid of honor was like, let's do some yoga. I was like, great, let's do some yoga. The makeup and hair rolled in at 6 and it was just going. It's just such a nice morning. But I just, at that point, you know what, today's just going to be how it is. And we're here. We are finally here, all this planning, and everyone is safe and they're here to celebrate us. So I think I was, able to really breathe then. The day before, I was more nervous than the day of. Yeah, for sure.
It's waking up in the morning and going, it is what it is. And you were able to still have your ceremony outside. It was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
But then for your bridal photos, just bucketed down.
Oh, it rained all morning. And I just remember the beautiful staff at the fig tree being like, look, we really probably should set it up inside the restaurant. I was like, yep, that sounds great. So that's what happened. It was all set up in the restaurant. And then when my husband rocked up at the venue and was speaking to our celebrant, Ben, I think he got a weather app out and he's like, Lewis, we've got 20 minutes. Do you want us to change it? And he's like, yep, bring it outside. And in the meantime, my friend who'd done all the flowers, she was taking my parents to show them what she'd done. And then it was all out of the restaurant under the fig tree, getting all set up within 20 minutes. And then Ben was unreal. He's like, we're just going to shift the running of the ceremony. So we'll do all the really important stuff under the tree and then we can reassess. And then, so, okay, that's great. And I think we were ready early as well. And it was almost like a scene in the movie. I saw we were out in the car park area getting kind of taking some more photos with the girls. And I just see my dad running down the driveway. He's like, Taylor, we're going, let's do it. Come on. And I was like, okay, we just ran up and walked down the aisle. We were able to have a whole ceremony there besides signing the certificate. Anyway, and as soon as we walked back down the aisle as husband and wife with beautiful petals being thrown at us, it just bucketed down again. We just had this magical moment of 20 minutes where we could just get it done. And then we would drown droughts for the rest of the wedding, but it was the best. So it was a guardian angel looking over us that at that particular time. And a lot of family members say that they saw that too. So it was it was a funny one. Yeah, but it was great. It was meant to be. It was supposed to happen that way, I guess.
And for the bridal photos at that stage, obviously you're quite drenched. Did you lean into the weather and take advantage of those types of photos, or were you trying to find different locations to avoid the rain?
As much as we could, we have some beautiful photos with like umbrellas, and then ones where we were getting, rained on, which was funny because I guess that gave it that more natural look because we were laughing so much because we were just getting wet. It was a different type of like aesthetic. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But the photographers were unreal to get the photos that they got with, the environment they had to work with. And it was almost a bit of a blessing because we'd had scheduled in our day photo time slots. But because it was raining so much, we kind of just had to play with the weather. So I was like, okay, quick 10 minutes. Let's quickly go get some photos now. Okay, then quick go back to the guests. Oh, okay, there's another 10 minutes. Let's go get some more. Like it wasn't – so that was kind of nice. Got to integrate with the guests a bit more rather than being away from them from like a big chunk of time. So that worked really well.
What would you say to brides now that you've had rain on your wedding day? What advice would you give to brides if the weather's not on their side?
Just lean into it. Like, and I think you kind of just got to let go of your expectation, your vision for that, your magical day, because it became better than what I expected it to be. But I would probably in hindsight, I think I wish I'd kind of had my hair styled a little bit differently. I think I was always trying to do the big like beachy waves, but that kind of didn't work on the day. So maybe if I just, I don't know. I look back, I was like, probably should have maybe just had it like pinned back a little bit or that kind of thing I probably would have done. But just embrace it and get those magical like notebook like style rainy photos.
I love your wedding photos. I think that there's just this element of romance to it, and it just seemed like you weren't avoiding it. You were just fully leaning into it and just having the best time. I guess once it kicks in and you know that it's a different direction, this is what you've got to work with, and it's, it doesn't take away from the day. It gives you like hilarious stories. I remember you telling me all about it afterwards, and you're like, Kiera, you should see some of these photos. Like, and they're so good though. Like that's the thing. It's not like they're all shit and you can't use them at all. They're beautiful, and but it looks like you fully leaned into it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think by the end of the night, my dress was like a mop. Like it was just, you could just see my, like this train of like wet, like going through the floor. Like it was fun. It was fine.
If you could relive just 10 minutes of the day, which part would you choose?
I think walking down the aisle. That was my favorite thing ever. I was not nervous at all. I saw Lou at the end and I was holding on to my dad, and it was just that we've actually made it. We've made it to this amazing day. And I think as well, because I was still caught up that I was going to be inside. So I was like, they've made it happen outside. This is incredible. Yeah, that would be walking down the aisle and like the events leading up to like my dad running down and like us just go. Like, let's get it. Like, let's get the show on the road kind of thing. Yeah. And just knowing when I approached my husband to be like, we'd walk down as husband and wife, like that it's when your dream came true, really. That's when it all kind of full circle moment, I think, for me. Yeah.
And so going back to what you said before, that you had to put in the trust with the vendors, obviously it really paid off on the day with Ben taking the lead and saying, hey, like, what do you want to do for these 20 minutes? Do you want to risk it? And also feeling a little bit like you had to micromanage to a point with the planning just to really get your vision across the line. And not that I don't think that you did actually micromanage, but it was just like obsessing over the details and really second guessing yourself and wanting to make it perfect. At what point in the lead up did you just have to surrender? Like, was that right up until the day, or was there a point where you're like, look, I trust my vendors and I know that it's all going to work out because I trust that they can pull it all off?
Yeah, I think as soon as we got up to Byron, I was like, we're here, like it's going to be amazing. And I knew that throughout the process, I think because I took your advice so heavily too. And I think one of the ones that I was concerned about the food, and I was like, I just want to make sure everyone's fed enough. And I was like, do I need more canapes? Like, no, there's going to be enough food, honestly. And I was like, okay, yep. So I fully trust. And I remember I think it was one of my mum's friends said, we thought like the wedding was finishing at the fig tree. Like there was so much food. But then we came to the surf club and then we got fed again and we got fed again. So like, I was like, that was probably one of my biggest stress. Like people aren't going to be fed on time or there's not going to be enough food. And everyone was just, I think, rolling out of, with a full belly, which wasn't the best feeling because I didn't want anyone to feel like they had to go and get food elsewhere after it and everyone still raves about the catering. They just like that food was so fresh. It was so delicious. Like there was such a variety. So yeah, but I feel like the wedding day I was able to really surrender on it. And I just, had to trust that it would all be okay. And that we'd done all the work. We'd done all the work for it. I was like, it's going to pull off.
Well, we put in the work twice, like it being that so surely.
Yeah, I know. Like, come on, you can't stuff it up twice, right?
Were there any surprises apart from the weather that happened on the day that you didn't expect?
Yeah, my shoe broke. My shoes broke 5 minutes before I started. Yeah. So I was putting them on and they had these beautiful like ankle straps. And I walked up the stairs and one snapped and the other snapped. And my baby sister was like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? I was like, just cut them. Like, just cut the straps. I'll just wear them as slides. Like, it's fine. And then like, she's like, no, it's your dream to have these shoes. We're going to fix it. So they were safety pinned together. The straps were safety pinned. So that was an unexpected.
You would never have thought. I've seen photos and I've like dreamed about your wedding shoes like years later. It's just so stunning. Were they hard to walk in being safety pinned?
No. And then I changed into sneakers at the reception. So I could just kind of get rid of them, which was good. But like they were fine to walk down in. Yeah.
What's something that you thought would matter but didn't in the end?
Probably how I fixated on how the menus would look on the table. Because I think I remember asking, I was like, what's the diameter of the plate? Because I want like to sit properly in it. And I had this like half moon design. And I probably didn't need to worry about that.
Talk me through as well, because I've looked back at your photos recently and there was something that I hadn't noticed previously in there.
Oh, okay.
And Lou got some award that was given to him.
Oh my goodness. This is, and you know, this, oh my gosh. It's so they have this club, this boy club. And so the boys have it's like, they do challenges, so golf challenge days or fishing charters and I don't really know why he got given the award because it was with his brother, like he was the last recipient and then it got brought up at the wedding and I was like, oh my goodness. And then the funniest thing is that now it's become a tradition because then it showed up at my sister's wedding. Like it's just this roll-on effect now. And
explain what that award was.
It's called the Dick Trophy. Yeah, I don't know how to say it politely, but it's, got a plaque on it. It's on a plinth and it's just a golden painted.
How big were we talking?
Yeah, look, it's quite large.
Big enough.
It's not a small trophy and it's a bit of an eyesore. So the wives or partners, whichever house it ends up, just hide it somewhere because we just don't want it seen.
And now it's a weird wedding tradition.
It is such a weird wedding tradition and it becomes like, but it's good. The boys have so much fun with it and it's nice for them to then have this like ongoing event that they do.
And you weren't expecting that to come out on your wedding day?
I was really hoping it wouldn't.
Oh, so you kind of knew.
I heard that it got brought. I heard that one of the guests had to bring it up. Another guest had forgotten it, and I was like, "Oh no! Like it's still coming." But thankfully, it's not at my house at the moment, so we'll keep it that way for as long as possible.
Well, look out, sister, because you said that she's planning her wedding as well. So maybe
my younger sister. I know that's probably going to come out at hers. So we'll see how that goes.
And so if you could gift one piece of advice, and this might be helpful for your sister at the moment, if you could gift one piece of advice to a couple deep in the planning now, what would it be?
I think stick to your guns for sure. And don't sweat the small stuff either, particularly on the day. Everything works out in the end. So, and trust that you've done all the planning in the process and that all that hard work is going to pay off as well. Because I feel like in my experience when I've been at other weddings, brides have gotten a little bit too, I guess it's just the emotions of the day, right? You got these highs and lows and you like everything's like kind of weighing on you as the bride or and the groom that planned this day. But yeah, I think, and you just got to remember what the day is all about. And that I remember standing up when we had to do our speech and just looking out at everyone. I just was like, this is unreal that we have all these people in our life that are here who've made the effort, particularly to fly interstate to come up and celebrate us. And yeah, I think it was just such a special day. And knowing that everyone was also healthy there and they were safe, and because of the onset of the COVID outbreak just before it. And, you know, we had all the everything was put in place to make sure that would still keep everyone healthy in that instance. But yeah, that would be my biggest thing. And probably you kind of need to have a bit of a safety net kitty, because about the month before there was things that came up that we needed to do that we didn't originally intend for. I guess at the surf club we had that beautiful deck and we always wanted like open air, and I think you said, look, February is a really wet month. I think we probably should think about a marquee, which ended up being the best decision because my husband really, really wanted to have fairy lights, like just like the whole ceiling filled, and we were trying to work out how to do it without a marquee. But because we had the marquee framework, we could do it. And then due to the nature of the weather, that was the best money we spent, because it meant that our dance walk was still able to, happen, because
Kick off.
we had that. Yeah. Oh, and it did kick off. I could not believe it. Like, my husband was so involved in the planning of the tables and where everyone sat, and we were very considerate of, you know, we had 3 long tables. So we put the table closest to the dance floor for people who we thought we might not want to dance, just want to chat, but be involved in it. And I remember looking back and there was no one sitting down when the dance floor kicked off. Everyone was up. And I was just shocked. I was like, this is so cool. Like, it became a bit of a sweatbox because there were so many people like under the marquee, but it just added to the fun of it. Everyone was having the best time. I'm pretty sure shirts came off from all the guys, and like everyone just let loose.
Would you do anything differently if you had your time over?
I don't think so. Honestly, I don't. I think that everything happened exactly how it was supposed to happen. I truly believe that. And I'm just so grateful for the experience and that we did get that kind of extended time to plan it and make it the day that we really wanted it to be. Yeah, but I think, it was perfect.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience. It was such a pleasure reliving it. You, hands down, have been one of my favourite couples to work with. You guys are absolute sweethearts, and I so appreciate you coming on board.
Thank you so much, Kiera. And such a testament to yourself as well, guiding us through this whole process. And I think that's probably another bit of advice I'd give you. If you have the means, get a planner. They really make the whole process so seamless, and that's something that we would never not do again. So thank you so much for being part of our lead up of the day and planning the double plan.
We got to do it twice. It was a pleasure.